so once again, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, so let's go ahead and let's dive in. Alright, so first, what is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is a free and open source Linux distribution based on Debian. What does that mean? The most important part for you to memorize and to understand is that Ubuntu is purely a free operating system, right? It is a alternative to Windows. And Ubuntu is also utilized in 95% of the world's servers. It's also utilized for most of your autonomous machines, such as drones, robots, self-driving cars, the Internet of Things, smart homes, smart cities. Most of that runs on Ubuntu. And so, something that you probably should get to know. But where did Ubuntu come from? Where did the name come from? Let's go ahead and look that up now. So Ubuntu is Zulu, and it means a quality that includes the essential human virtues, compassion, and humanity. And Ubuntu, essentially the push and the premise behind it is that the internet should be free and available to all. And, you know, how could you not get behind something as profound as that? So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about how to actually install Ubuntu 18.04. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab a USB drive. It needs to be at least 4 gigabytes. I wouldn't put anything else on it. I would primarily dedicate that just to the Ubuntu installation. And once you have that, then go to ubuntu.com/download/desktop, and you're going to download Ubuntu. And I'm not going to actually download it, but once you would download it, you would see this Ubuntu 18.04 Desktop AMD 64 ISO, and basically that's just the image of the operating system that you're downloading. Once you have that and you download it and it goes to your download folder, you're going to next go to Balena, BALENA.io/etcher, and this is how you burn an image either to a SD card or a USB drive, and today we're going to burn it to a USB drive. And so once you go to Balena, it's going to tell you which system you need to download your operating, for your operating system. And I already, I have Linux, so it's telling me to download for Linux 64. If you have Windows, go ahead and download Etcher for Windows, and you should be good to go. Once you download it, the interface for the app is going to look just like it appears here. You're going to select the image, and that image is going to be the Ubuntu 18.04 ISO. Then you're going to select your drive, which is going to be your USB drive, and then you're going to flash it. And then once you do that, you should be good to go. Now, that's not everything. Once you've done that, there's going to be more that you have to do in order to actually install it on your drive, but I'm not going to go into that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this particular video that covers everything that you're going to need to know, and I'm just going to forward you to that particular link, and then they'll be able to take you from there. And so let's continue going down the curriculum. And so next, let's look at the desktop interface for Ubuntu 18.04. As you can see, it's a very clean, very minimalist, and modern interface. I can't say more about it. If you don't like the interface, you can just Google online Ubuntu Desktop, right? And there's all kinds of other modifications that you can make and customizations that you can make to your desktop interface. I would say even more so than Windows. And so here you can see the time in your calendar. This is information concerning your Wi-Fi connections, your battery meter. Also, your account settings are all there. On your left-hand side, you're going to have your taskbar. You're going to have your files. Most of the applications that are going to be favorites, that are going to be stuck, to your taskbar are going to be LibreOffice applications. Your Ubuntu software is also stuck there, your settings, etc. But you can also, there is no right click in Ubuntu 18.04. I think that's important to know. You have to double click in order to right click. So if you double click, you'll be able to remove these from your favorites if you desire. At the bottom is your Show Applications button, and this button is analogous or similar to the Start button within Windows. So when you click on that, you can search for all your applications, any files that you may have, etc. You can search right there. And so, I love this interface, and I love the application. I think it's very simple. So let's continue moving forward. Now, suppose that you want to install software. How do you go about doing that in the most simplistic way? You would go to the orange icon on the taskbar, and you click on that, and we're going to go up to the top to search, and we're going to search for Minecraft. My son loves to play Minecraft, and so we're going to click on that, and you would click on install, and that's pretty much all you would have to do, and you would have it. There will be instances where the software that you desire is not within the Ubuntu software application, and the only other way that you're going to be able to install that is by actually pressing the buttons Control and Alt at the same time. Control CTRL, Alt ALT. It's going to be in the bottom left hand corner of your keypad, and you're going to press Control Alt and then T. And then what that will do is that will pull up your terminal very, very quickly. And so an example of an application that you would download manually would be Firefox. So here we're on Firefox's website. In order to download Firefox, it's telling me to go to the download page. So let's right click and then go to, and then we will download now. I'm not going to actually do that because it would take too long, but let's actually try to see if it'll populate, just so I can show you what the file looks like. Okay, so here it says Firefox-75.0.tar.bz2. At the end of the file, right, is the extension, the file extension. And so in Windows you may have zip files, in Ubuntu or in Linux you have tar files, you have Debian files, really any file type you can use in Linux. And so it's 75.0. That's an important part to remember. Alright, so once you've downloaded it, it will appear in your downloads folder. So you want a CD for change directory, and then go to downloads, and then you go to LS. You'll type in LS so you can look around, and then if you look, you should see that it's there in the folder. Okay, so how do we actually open the file once it's downloaded? What we're going to do is, here they give you the direction or the commands to extract the file. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make sure that it matches up with the version that you just downloaded. So here you see the asterisk. The asterisk is just a placeholder for whatever version you just downloaded. So we downloaded 75.0. Alright. And so then we would press enter, and then we would go ahead and download that. Alright. If you have, like I said, if you're on another platform, etc., this may be foreign to you, but do not run away from the terminal. Running towards the terminal is probably one of the best things that you could possibly do. Alright, so this is how you would actually open a file or download a program without using the user interface and using only the terminal. Alright, let's keep it moving. So we've talked about what Ubuntu is. I've showed you how to install Ubuntu, and you'll get the rest of it in the link. I've giving you a tour of the Ubuntu desktop interface, and I've shown you how to install Ubuntu applications and software using the user interface. Additionally, I've showed you how to install programs and applications using the command line. Now I'm going to show you and expose you to some of my favorite software and productivity tools for Ubuntu. The first is going to be LibreOffice, okay? The entire suite. And so here you have LibreOffice Calc, and that's essentially the same as Microsoft Excel. Here you have LibreOffice Draw. You have LibreOffice Draw, and Draw is essentially a photo editor. You have LibreOffice Impress, which is the equivalent of Microsoft PowerPoint. And then you also have LibreOffice Writer, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Word. And so these are all free tools once again, and they are compatible with Microsoft Office applications. And so you could send a colleague that doesn't have LibreOffice installed on their computer, you can send them a file from Ubuntu, from your operating system, and it will be compatible with their existing installation of Microsoft Office Windows, or Windows in general, right? And so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you. So suppose that I have a file, and the file we have right here. Just going to say hi, and we're going to save it as, and we're going to go down to docx, hi.docx. I'm going to save it. It already exists, but we'll do it anyway. And this ensures that it is compatible with any operating system that's running Windows, any Microsoft Office suite. They're going to be able to open this file even if they don't have Ubuntu installed on their computer or LibreOffice installed on their computer. Alright? So let's keep moving. For video editing, I would say the best video editor that I've run into that's free, that's based on Ubuntu, is OpenShot. If you take a look at it, at OpenShot, it's pretty simple, but there's a lot of other features that I'm not going to go into. You can, really go into some advanced functionalities in order to really create something that is production worthy. It's fast and it works great. I don't have any complaints about it. I would definitely recommend that you give it a try as something that you can use in order to edit videos on Ubuntu for free. Next, we're going to look at photo editing with LibreOffice Impress. And when I use Microsoft Office to edit photos, I would normally use PowerPoint just because PowerPoint had more tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to upload an image. Let's see. Let's use this picture, right? Okay. So here, there's all kinds of different tools and different things that you can use in order to actually change the style and the format of your image. So there's all kinds of different stuff that you can use. I'm not going to go into all the tools, but just to do photo editing, right? Like, you don't really need much more than this. Most applications on your phone, have just as many tools. Well, not as many of this, but they have enough tools to where you can create something that looks professional. This application, LibreOffice Impress, would just help you take it to the next level. Alright, next is Simple Screen Recorder. And I'm going to show you how this works. So Simple Screen Recorder is something that you would have to download. So let me show you to install Simple Screen Recorder. I'm going to X out of it. I'm not going to actually download it because I actually have it. And in order to run it, you just type in Simple Screen Recorder. Okay. Nope. Alright, continue. You create a profile. You create a container. You know, what are you trying to output, right? We want to output it as MP4. Audio, we want to output the audio as MP3. And then you just start recording, and then when you're done, you can save it. And that's pretty much it for screen capturing or recording. And it also, like I said, records audio as well as video. And it's the best tool that I've found in order to do this type of work. And so, and on top of that, it's free. So you can't really beat that. Alright, next we're going to look at Antivirus Software. Antivirus Software. So usually on the PC, it comes with antivirus software, maybe Norton, for example, and it will take you, after 3 months, you realize that your whole system is jeopardized because you don't have that antivirus software anymore. Well, this antivirus software is free, and it will protect your system from malware as well as viruses, and then something that's that fewer people know about, that's called rootkits. And rootkits are ugly. They stick themselves to the base of your operating system, so that even when you clean your system, it's still there. And so let's take a look at it, and let's try to dive in real quick. So you would just download sudo apt-get install chk rootkit. Once again, I have this installed, so I'm not going to install it. So let's actually run it. So chk and we put sudo for super user permissions, and let's run it. And it's going through all of my files, etc. And then you can look back, and it tells you, right, nothing found, nothing found. It goes through a bunch of different rootkits and worms and all these other things, and my system looks pretty good. Now, I just did something very simple. This application, you can schedule it to run every so often. You can even schedule it to connect with your email server, so that it sends you an email if it ever finds anything. And so, this is cybersecurity for free. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's keep it moving. All right, so suppose you want to just take a screenshot. You just want to take a snippet of the screen. How do you do that? So you would go down here to the menu, and then it's an application called Screenshot. And with Screenshot, you can grab the whole screen in front of you, the current window that you're working on, or you can select the area to grab. I would just select an area, right? Just grab it, and Screenshot sample 2. And then save it, and then that's pretty much it. So you can save your screen and capture documents that you need, all kinds of things. So, alright, so that wraps up my favorite software and productivity tools that are downloadable and can be run on the local device. Now we're going to focus on productivity tools that are cloud-based that you can use. So of course, for browsers, I have to go with Firefox. I just showed you guys how to go through that installation process to download Firefox. I think Firefox has more of an open platform. They don't collect all of your data, and if you're into the Internet of Things, for example, then Firefox is definitely a platform that you want to use like if you like the Raspberry Pi or anything like that. And so beyond that, we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to go to my favorite cloud-based video editing platform. And this is ClipChamp. And ClipChamp is free to use. The only time that it becomes expensive is if you want a higher quality as far as the number of pixels. If you want 1080 as opposed to like 460 or 480, I believe. And so that's the only reason that you would pay for it. But I use it. I don't pay for 1080. I think the videos look fine the way they are. If I wanted a higher quality video, I probably would use OpenShot instead. But if I want something that's quick and that isn't bulky, right, then I would use ClipChamp, because when it pushes out files, it's optimized for the internet, and they're very small size files. Often if they're under a minute long, then you can actually email it to yourself. You can email the video to yourself. If you're optimizing videos, etc., for Instagram, etc. And so yeah, but it's also a simple and beautiful interface. And then also, once you export it, it has a button or an option to allow you to directly upload it straight to YouTube. And so you can't really beat that. So this is ClipChamp. Next, we're going to look at Canva. So suppose that you are a designer and you are looking for an alternative to Adobe Illustrator. Now, I can't really tell you that there's a direct replacement for Adobe Illustrator, because I've used it. It's a very awesome tool. But as a small business owner, and you have to put out posters, you have to put out letterhead, you have to put out a logo, you have to put out flyers, you have to do all this branding, and you don't have a large budget, then Canva is perfect for you. It provides all kinds of templates, and so you don't have to be an expert in order to look like one. And I think Canva emphasizes that, and then you can save all of your work in the cloud as well. Alright, let's continue on to document signing. So let's look at document signing, how we would go about doing that. So for document signing, there's an application that I use that's called DigiSigner. And I have to say that DigiSigner is an application that I've used probably for maybe 5 or 6 years. And the only thing about it is that you only get 3 documents for free that you get to sign per month. But if you have a lot of people in your organization, or if you have 4 or 5 people in your organization, then you may be able to spread those out amongst each one of your employees. And so very, very simple. I'm not going to go into it. You can sign up with Facebook, you can sign up with Google. Very, very efficient. You can send a document to someone and ask them to sign, as well as going in there and doing it yourself. And so, very awesome tool. So let's continue. So live streaming. So for live streaming, I'd have to recommend Twitch. And Twitch it's more complex than a Zoom, right? Or other platforms that people may be utilizing these days. But Twitch definitely gives you all the flexibility to do whatever it is that you want to do. I think it's awesome for running classrooms where they don't necessarily place a cap on how many viewers that you have, right? So I think it's really awesome in that particular regard. And so this just gives you a look at the back end of Twitch, and I think it's a beautiful interface. I love how it's optimized, to do courses, to do classes, to do things of that nature. And so, this is something that I would recommend easily for educators over any of the other tools that are out there. It is more complicated to set up, especially for Linux. If you're using Windows, maybe not, but then that would just take away from the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. And so let's move on from Twitch. But hopefully you guys are inspired to get on there and make an account and start live streaming. So what about email? What about if you want to, you don't want to use Microsoft Office 365 and you don't want to pay $5 a month for each user, right? But you still want customized emails that coordinate with your domain name. I would say Zoho is probably the best for that. I know last time I checked, you get at least 3 free customized emails. And then if you want more than that, of course you would have to pay for it. But I've used Zoho since 2013 and I've never moved to any other platform. I like the fact that they're smaller. I haven't dealt with hacks. Let me knock on wood. But outside of that, I think Zoho's pretty awesome. Especially if you're a small business and you're just starting out. Last, we talked about burning operating systems if you need to. Belina Etcher, we've already talked about it and covered it. I think it's an awesome tool for burning anything on a USB drive as well as burning anything on an SD drive. And the only reason you would need to burn anything on the SD drive is if you were using like a Raspberry Pi or something of that nature. And so, this pretty much summarizes all the tools. Now, to bring it full circle, any final thoughts? Right now with the COVID-19 virus ravaging the globe, ravaging the economy, making those that were not tech savvy, making those individuals completely become digital. There are questions: how do you become digital? What is the best way to do so? And I've learned from years of experience, millions of dollars of investment, and I found that Ubuntu by far is the most cost-efficient thing that any organization could do. It's just by simply taking everything and just making the leap and just diving straight head forward into Ubuntu. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you're going to start saving money. I think that what I've just provided you with saves you a bunch of work. And so hopefully you guys find these tools useful. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and leave comments. But otherwise, I can be reached via our website at www.infinite8institute.com. Once again, my name is Ean Mikale, and I can be reached via email at Ean, that's EAN, at infinite8institute.com. All right, thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your week.